You may recognize this building on Broad Street in Hazleton. You may have driven by it, you may have played on the slot machines or the jukebox in the game room, or maybe you swam in the pool in the back. More commonly though, you probably attended a funeral for a family member or for a friend. This building is the home of the Krapf Hughes Funeral Home. However, on Friday, September 11th, 2020, the Krapf Hughes Funeral Home closed this building, their Hazle Chapel, formerly located at 426 West Broad Street in Hazleton, to immediately begin shifting their efforts to their Butler Chapel in Drums. It is with a heavy heart that the Kutchmarick family leaves Hazleton City, but our future is bright as we continue to serve all our client families out of our Drums facility. This short video will explain a brief history of the business and personal accounts from the Krapf Hughes family. In 1945, two well-known local men of impeccable reputation, G. Marvin Krapf and Kenneth W. Hughes, pooled their resources and efforts and joined in a partnership to continue a business operated by the Krapf family since 1918. Together, they established Krapf Hughes Funeral Home as Hazleton's newest funeral service provider. That partnership continued with great progress and success until 1978, when Ken purchased Marvin's interest and became the sole owner of the business. Since their partnership began in 1945, Krapf Hughes Funeral Home operated faithfully out of this Victorian-style home located on Broad Street. This building of great stature, however, was not actually built here. It was constructed a few blocks east and transported up the road over the course of 10 days, most of which the building was stuck in the mud after a rainstorm, blocking a prominent trolley track. For several days, riders wanting to pass through Hazleton must take a trolley up to the home, get off, walk around to another trolley, and continue their trip. The building has stood in its present location since 1901. In the early 1980s, after nearly 40 years in funeral service, Ken Hughes began to contemplate not only retirement, but how he would perpetuate his business. Not having any children or heir apparent, he embarked on a quest to handpick his successor. This journey led him to our present owner, Ronald Joseph Kutchmarick. With a wife and 2 children at home, Ron initially pushed back against the idea, but after a little persuasion, he applied for admission to mortuary school, began a 1-year internship under Ken Hughes' supervision, and took over ownership and management of the business in 1985. Ron would spend the next 18 years improving the business and developing his own reputation. His son Michael, after earning a degree in business administration, decided to pursue the additional education requirements necessary to secure a funeral director's license and join in the family business. Once again staffed with 2 full-time funeral directors, the new father-son team worked closely together, and the Krapf Hughes reputation continued to flourish. Under this new joint management of father and son, an opportunity for expansion into the Butler Valley soon developed. Together, and with the commitment of the entire Kutchmarick family, Ron and Michael, in August of 2002, established the firm's second location, the Butler Chapel in Drums, a fast-growing suburb of Hazleton, where the Krapf Hughes legacy will continue to live on.
I can't believe the first time I walked down these steps, I was only in 2nd grade.
And I was in kindergarten.
That was 36 years ago. I was only 33. Cell phones weren't even invented. And I thought I'd try a career in funeral service.
And over the years, our family has grown
To play an active role in serving your family.
And ensure that we'll be here for generations to come.
At Krapf Hughes,
We're not just at your service, we're by your side.
Nearly 40 years ago, I walked through this door on the encouragement of Ken Hughes and my dad, Joe Kutchmarick. Joe worked here for Ken Hughes They encouraged me to be involved in funeral service. Who'd ever think that one day I would be the owner of this place? Working, and not only the owner of this place, but eventually working with my family, passing the business on to them. I remember walking in here as a stranger, not knowing anything about the business, and just awestruck by what the possibilities were. Who knew that someday that I would be working in this office, managing this business, making phone calls, giving direction, dealing with families. Right in here is where I spend many hours. I would be up at 1 in the morning trying to make things happen the way I wanted them to happen. Everything organized and perfect. Gave it my best shot. Then I'd be up early in the morning, managing funerals, working here and there, dealing with the men as they came in. Eventually, we expanded. We put on another office. My dad and I remodeled the building. All of this that you see is our handiwork, most of it done by myself and my father, spending many hours in between funerals, using the time wisely so that we weren't interrupted, hanging miles of wallpaper, lowering ceilings, plumbing, electrical work, you name it, we did it. Who'd ever think that we'd expand the building? Who'd ever think that I'd be now tripping over the remnants of what's left? Oh. Well, and who'd ever think that it would come time that we needed to move on to serve our clientele in a new and different way, meeting the needs of a changing society. I've seen this business change from very simple and very, very dedicated families to families who are now spread throughout the country, families who are fragmented, less burials, more cremations. We need to change and we need to serve that clientele. Come back in here and I see all these things, see some of the workmanship that my dad and I put in, building windows to fit walls that were beyond what we expected. Empty service rooms where we handled services and consoled so many families. Buried family members of my own in this very room. And now it's all over. We move on. But we move on with high hopes and expectations. And as I walk out the front door of this building, I think it's not with regret, but it's with enthusiasm, looking towards the future. And I think it's going to be a pleasant goodbye. And look forward to our brand new team. And when I speak of a team that will move into the future, a team that will be headed by my son Michael, my son-in-law David, my daughter and David's wife Michele, and of course myself. I'll be there to consult and help and pitch in as needed. But moving up, we still have another generation, my grandchildren. First it would be Logan, and Logan has been so instrumental in moving forward with our plans for expansion and rebuilding and serving this new clientele that I spoke about. Not only Logan, I have another granddaughter who is currently in mortuary school, Samantha, and she's studying to be a funeral director also. I'll never be as proud as I will be when I see that team come together and I could just sit back and watch things happen. So with that, I think it's going to be a pleasant goodbye. And as I walk out this door, I'll just say goodbye to nearly 40 years of my life. Goodbye.
My fond memories of this building is when I would walk up the steps with my groceries and into the kitchen where I did a lot of my cooking for the family and for friends. We had many parties. I would display our buffets. We would go and enter into the dining room where we had our big table with everyone out, extended out onto the deck, onto the patio. I also remember walking out these doors and having a special 40th birthday party for Ron, which we all enjoyed very much. And we also enjoyed many other anniversaries and birthdays in this home that will be very memorable to us for the rest of our lives. Into the living room area, where we all gathered to watch TV, shows, where we had the party, and into the game room, where the guys would come and shoot pool and play on the machines. All the family and friends. I also remember very much with Michael and Michele, and this room filled with kids all the time. The basketball team, the girls, the boys playing pool, dancing to music on the jukebox, playing the machines. It was always filled. Our home always had activity and excitement and joy and laughter. And I'm going to miss that, but life goes on, and our next step is coming, and we will always enjoy the grandchildren and everything that comes after. Another memory is going up these stairs to do the laundry and all the rooms upstairs that I cleaned in this whole house, which I did enjoy doing, and I would never complain about doing anything. One thing is, I guess the stairs had caused me to have to get a new knee, but it was all worth it. So again, I will be walking down these steps and not coming again, but remembering everything that we did here and enjoying it, and would not ever change anything. So this, again, will be my last time down my steps and leaving this and staying at our new home in Drums, which we love very much.
Good morning. My name is Dave from the Krapf Hughes Funeral Home. I'm one of the funeral directors here. I've been so for the last 3 years. Prior to that, I was a Pennsylvania State Trooper for 25 years, working in the forensic unit. In my time as a trooper, I learned to be compassionate, respectful, have empathy, all good qualities that translated over to becoming a funeral director. I had the privilege of going to Northampton Community College and graduating as a funeral director 3 years ago. And I started my career here at the Krapf Hughes Funeral Home in Hazleton, where my father-in-law Ron owns the business. I work with my brother-in-law Michael, who's another funeral director, my wife, who's the business manager. And in that time, I've learned so much about myself and the families that we work with. The compassion and the empathy that I learned from the state police has translated well as a funeral director. And in that time, I've learned how to work with people in a different way. The people we work with, the tragedies come quickly. And we as funeral directors have to be compassionate and work with them, because the service is about them and their family. And that is the part that I love most about this business, is giving back to these families. As you can see, I'm in an empty office. This was the office that I worked in. It was Ron's office, then it became my office, and this is the office that I helped so many families. And it's with a heavy heart that I must say that we're leaving the office in Hazleton and moving down to our location in Butler. However, the people that we worked with have given us that opportunity to expand our business down into the Butler office. And I look so forward to working with the families in our Butler Chapel and to continue to expand our business. I look forward to working with our families from the Hazleton area and the Drums area to continue to expand our business down at our Butler Chapel. And I'd like to thank everybody who continues to patronize our business. Thank you.
When I was a little kid, I used to sit up here quietly at the top of the steps, look down to see what Dad was doing at work. As years passed, I ended up joining my dad here at Krapf Hughes Funeral Home. We served several people, and I can't believe that it's been almost 20 years that I've been a licensed funeral director. I've met many friends, helped people out through their time of need, and I quickly found that helping people was a very satisfying feeling. My dad taught me that when you serve a family, you want to try to do the very best that you can. And he also taught me that every day you come to work, make it a better day than it was the day before, always striving to improve. So with that mindset, throughout the years we have always been innovative We've always tried to bring a better type of service, more options, better ways to help people through a difficult time. At this point, we made a difficult decision that however beautiful this facility is, it just didn't allow us to serve you at our full potential. And so we decided that we would be closing this location here in Hazleton and focusing on our drums location to fully serve all the families that we have. We thank you for over the years coming through our door, looking for our help, and allowing us to serve you. And we ask you continue to do that at our facility in Drums as we move forward with our service. Thank you.
So here I am in my childhood bedroom for the very last time. This is where I grew up, where my bed was, where my desk was, where I shared time with my friends at sleepovers and get-togethers and stuffed animals and dolls. I have all of those memories in this childhood bedroom. One of the memories leads me to right over here. In typical 12-year-old little girl fashion, probably the week I got my carpet, I dropped nail polish on it. And I didn't want to tell my parents, so I tried to fix it with nail polish remover. So I dumped nail polish remover on, and there's those two stains from the very first week I got this new carpet. But it's all part of the memories of the building. And who would have thought that 35 years later, I'd be helping my family continue to run this business and the family and just move it to our new location down in Drums. Follow me for some more memories. This is what I used to do every single day from when I moved into this home. And today will be the last day that I do it. I jumped every single time, and that was the last. I have many memories in this building, and they'll forever be in my heart.
At Krapf Hughes Funeral Home, an empty building does not mean an empty promise. Although we're closing our Hazle Chapel, we will remain available and able to serve you during your time of loss. Whether you live in Hazleton or Drums or any of the surrounding communities, always rely on us to serve you at that difficult time. Every decision that we make is geared toward better serving you. And moving forward, we invite you to visit our facility in Drums and see all the things that we're able to do to serve you at that difficult time. Thank you for allowing us to do that here at this beautiful facility, and we remain available for you in the future. Thank you.
The relationships that we have built over the years in serving you, our friends, are priceless to us. We thank you for the opportunity to have done that, and we hope that we have brought some comfort to you in some very grievous times. We move on into the future, and we hope that you will follow us into our new and brighter facility. Thank you all again.